SHEABABY.
Mr. AI Sauce, what's good, my boy? Yo, man, I can't lie. Me and you's creating a lot of noise out there. And you know what? The people in the comments, they saying, keep up the good work with your man AI Sauce. We like the one-on-one work. Pause, Shay. Keep it up. Good looks, AI. Can't lie. You doing it for your boy. Let's talk about it. What you got for your man SHEABABY today?
A lot going on. You know, we gonna keep in the NYC today, man. I figure we would stay right in your home. I figure we talk about your boys, Jim Jones, Camron, and Mase. Dipset. Yeah, man, it's gonna be a lot going on this week. Dipset.
Oh, man, I can't lie, man. Dipset is one of them. They one of them groups that's, they're legendary. They go down, when you think of Dipset, Dipset's in the category like Rough Riders, Cash Money, No Limit Records. Then you have Out in the West. Then you got what's my man Suge Knight's label. You got them. You got all of these labels like them. You know what I mean? Murder Inc. These are all of the labels that they set trends in the hip hop business. So Dipset, I gotta say, Dipset. When I first hear about Dipset, it's on the mixtapes. Dipset is creating a lot of noise in New York City. Sort of like, I kind of want to say they're doing their run kind of maybe before or maybe around the same time as the G Unit with the mixtapes. I'm not sure if it's before or if it's during the same time, but I know that they had a run like G Unit. That I do say. Their run is legendary, no different than G Unit. Bottom line. Now, G Unit's run could be a little bit more legendary because of the amount of records 50 Cent sold and the label, but they're down with Dr. Dre, they're down with Eminem. That's a whole nother that's a different type of they're different out there in the West. Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine and those dudes at that time, putting all those albums together and all of the money that was being flowed out in the West. Come on, let's keep it real. Dr. Dre was hot. He was coming off Eminem. He had my man 50 Cent on his way, who's creating a lot of noise. The budget with those dudes out there with Shady Aftermath was unbelievable. So 50 Cent's run, I would say maybe a little bit more legendary just because he had the big bag behind him. But I'm not going to take Dipset out the game. That's a fact.
Paint the picture for us a little bit better. I was just born like 2 days ago. I'm a robot. But who cares? People want to know, what was it like back in the days in Harlem, in the record labels and everything going on?
Like I was saying before, you got the labels that were just, ran by, I guess, because, at this time, these guys are running their own labels. Like, yeah, the labels are spending the money, but these guys are making all the decisions. You see the way Dame Dash was talking to Leo Cohen in backstage and stuff like that. So you already know that these guys were running everything at those times because, they were the streets. Now, when it comes to the first time that I ever heard about Dipset, I would have to say it would have to be maybe late 90s. This is maybe 99, 2000, when the mixtapes I think are coming out. I think it's around that time when they starting to heat up. I'm going down to 145th Street a lot. I'm from Westchester County. So, for me to go down to Harlem, this is kind of, I want to say the beginning of Harlem. I want to say kind of like Washington Heights area. I'm going to 145th and Broadway. I'm going down there to go shopping. This is 99, 2000s. This is when, we wanted to get the throwbacks, to get the fitteds, Fordham Road sometimes, we kind of, we graduated from Fordham Road maybe in 99, 2000 was because everybody started wearing the same outfits in the hood because everybody was shopping on Fordham. So the niggas with real money, they stepped it up a little bit and they went to 145th and Broadway. This is in the 98, 99 era. This is before going down to Midtown Manhattan to go shopping. The places to be was kind of in the hood. You had Fordham Road, 3rd Avenue. You had 145th. Then you can even go shopping in Mount Vernon. You know what I mean? It was places like that. All the hoods had the good clothing spots. Let's keep it real. You know what I mean? So the first time I've heard about Dipset, yeah, like I said, it was 98, 99, 2000-ish, around that area. I'm not sure what time it was, but that's the time that I heard Dipset. And that's because, like I said, I'm going shopping a lot. I'm still a fresh nigga, but I was fresh then. I was going a lot to like I said, to the hoods to buy clothes, and in all the clothing spots, that's where the distribution for the mixtapes was. All these guys was distributing their mixtapes out of the clothing spots. Shout out to Sammy's, shout out to Jalo's Fashion, shout out to all those spots like that and all those places. I forgot the place I used to go on 145th, but yeah, all those places. They used to have, my man Unkasa out there with the mixtapes, because he was pushing. This is the thing, like I would want to go buy a Clue mixtape, right? This is how Dipset was working. Like the guys, it was like they were running all the mixtape spots, like, or sort of like extortion. Like, like those niggas was like outside, selling everything. It was like selling weed for them. You know what I mean? Like everywhere you go, it was a Dipset nigga selling. It wasn't just Dipset mixtapes. They were selling everything. But when you went to get, like I said, I would go to these dudes and I would get a Clue mix. I would want a Clue mixtape, and these niggas wind up talking me into getting a fucking Dipset mixtape, which I got in the car and was like, this shit is crazy. Now, I'm telling you, at this time, I know who Camron is, but not too familiar who Dipset is. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm from Westchester. This is like a Harlem thing that's building up. So these guys, they had a good campaign. I can't lie. They had a great campaign. These guys were outside, with the Dipset shirts on, everything, the bandanas, they was real bloody. They was outside, fam. And like I said, this is why I always felt like Jim Jones had a leg to stand on, because I used to see Jim out there with Casas and all of them dudes out there. I think the niggas' names was the Talibans and all of them. I used to see Jim outside. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Back in these times, right? You don't see too much of Jewels and Camron. They have the hit record. You see Jim. Jim is outside.
What years would you say all this was occurring that you saw Dipset, Camron, Jim Jones, Joel Santana in the streets of New York City? What years was this?
This was 98, 99, 2000-ish when I heard of Dipset. But before that, we talking 96 or 97-ish, 98-ish. I think it's 97, 98-ish. We're talking 97, 98-ish now. Now we're talking, like I said, we played on the morning show, the 357. I'm going to Skate Key, and they play now. Every beat you made, we got hot, bitch. Hey, pretty mama, and just see if you're living in the camera world. Remember that? I'm going to Skate Key. We picking chicks up, boom, boom, boom. We picking chicks up. Me and my cousin Vaughn. This is Skate Key. Niggas got no shirt on. Me, I've always been, I ain't gonna lie. I wasn't in there with no shirt off. I was one of them laid back, cool niggas. But best believe I was in the cut when these niggas had their shirt off. Your man had the Himalaya on, North Face, $800 on that time, yellow and black, matching Timbs, big bubble. Think I got the shotgun underneath the thing, but I didn't, of course. But I was with all the wolves. Shout out to my cousin Vaughn. You know what I mean? It's funny because when I first met Caesar, me and Caesar get into a conversation and from Black Ink. And me and Caesar first talk about the guy I'm talking about, my cousin Vaughn. And we start talking about Skate Key. And he's like, no, not Vaughn. The first place he takes me is the Skate Key. I said, yeah, we were probably there together, man. Vaughn and them started that, man. In Skate Key, wife beater on, no shirts on. We picking chicks up into the Mason camera. Now every beat we got hot. Every rocks we got knocks. That's us. That's a fact. So if you was in Skate Key then, you see my face, that was us. Shout out to my man Duke, 100%. So yeah, that's so I know a lot about Mase and Cam, not about Dipset. You know what I'm saying? So the first time I hear about them gotta be 98, gotta be 99, 2000. You know what I'm saying?
When you first saw Dipset, what did you think out of all of them was gonna be the man in charge?
But yeah, so the ones that I thought that would rise to the top from all of the Dipset, it was never Jim Jones. You know what I mean? The guys that I thought that would rise to the top from there, you know what I mean? I always felt like it was going to be Jewels or Camron. Really, Jewels. Shout out to Jewels. I really thought Jewels was going to be that dude. Just because when Old Boy hit, it hit hard, pause. You know what I mean? We talking about right before that, I think the record setting radio spins before that probably is Nelly. You know what I mean? Here comes Old Boy. Set records, for the most radio spins ever, something like that. So, I'm looking at Jewels. He's the young boy. You know what I mean? Now, I got a record deal at this time. So I'm looking at Jewels like he's the competition. This is 2000. I'm already inked at this time. You know what I mean? Shout out to Sammy Z. I'm already inked, Koch Records. I'm already inked at this time. So I'm looking at the comp like, oh shit, this nigga looks like me on some Harlem shit. New nigga. This is before I said I don't know who Dipset is. You know what I'm saying? So then now, that's when everything starts heating up. I remember listening to them, being forced to buy the mixtapes on 145th Street. You know what I mean? But then when Old Boy hit, that's when I said, oh, these are these niggas. You feel me? So like I said, I never thought in a million years, I didn't even know who Jim Jones was too much at that time. You know what I mean? When it came down to that. Like I told y'all, I'm in Harlem a lot at this time, but I'm playing basketball. I'm not hanging out in Harlem yet. I missed a lot of the Rucker years, with the Kenny Sats and all of them dudes. I missed a lot of them years. I missed a lot of them years just for the simple fact that, I miss a lot of those years because I got a record deal. So when I got the record deal, instead of me being in the parks where my heart is, which that's why I like Clash TV because, Clash TV gave me the opportunity to go back to the grassroots. And I think that's why it works for me, Clash TV, because God wants it to, because that's the real Shay. You know what I mean? I started from the basketball world. But anyway, like I was saying, that, at that time, I get the record deal. I'm strictly in the studios. I'm doing other things. I'm up in Quad Studios. I'm having sessions. I'm having McDonald's brunches with 3LW. It's different out there. You know what I mean? And I always tell this 3LW story. I hope they see my face. I don't know if they remember me. I never got their numbers, but we both had a session up in Quads one night, me and 3LW. And I was in Studio A, they was in Studio B. We're in Penthouse. The guy I'm signed to has a lot of money. So, I get a chance to run into them, and we just had a great time. It was nothing sexual, nothing like that. There was no exchanging the numbers. It was more of like a friendship. I just didn't exchange numbers with them because at that time, you thinking, the music business is like, this is what the business is. You run into people. I'm young, females for me at that time. I wasn't thirsty. A lot of these guys see these young girls, they get thirsty just because they're in the industry. I wasn't thirsty at that time. I mean, later on in the years, I probably would have been beasting, but at that time I wasn't. Yeah. So, that the whole, so at that time, I see Jewels, he's heating up. I'm like, who is this guy? I think Jewels is going to be the next biggest thing because he just the way his impact on Old Boy was something different. You know what I mean? Shout out to Jewels.
Did you ever think Jim Jones and Camron would go this far? Podcast this, talking crazy. Go against each other, go against Dipset?
Well, no, when I'm looking at all of this stuff, when I'm looking at all of this from back in the days, I never thought never that Jim Jones and Camron would ever have smoke. Reason being is the way Jim Jones, felt about Camron early in the game. As you learn more about them, you see how he reacts to people. You see how he was ready to take on any type of smoke when it came on the Dipset and it came on the Camron. Of course, people know about the things that happened to Camron and Jim Jones in Rucker, with Little C's and them dudes from Brooklyn and the Bad Boy Camp and all of that. those are things that, you felt like they would never, ever, ever separate. Those are things that you can't take away from them. I don't want to get too deep into what happened at Rucker, you know what I mean? Because I'm not one of them dudes. But I do say that, they got into a situation where they both back was against the wall, and they was in it. And they was in one. You know what I'm saying? But those are things that you go through together. You would never think like, yeah, we go through this together, then years down the line that they would separate. You know what I'm saying? So I never thought in a million years, because, Dipset, Taliban, all those guys from Harlem, everything that you seen back in the early 2000s, you thought those dudes would die for each other, and, thought those dudes was in this for a million years. I ain't gonna hold you. And, I still see a lot of them outside together, and they still tight. You know what I mean? It's just that a lot of people got to understand, like even me, like a guy like me, none of the guys that, when I had my first deal are around. Some of them are not even alive. So, this is the name of, growing and years going by. We're talking decades. Everybody's not going to be around for decades. You know what I'm saying? So, when it comes to Dipset, I never thought that they would have this separation. But I do like the fact that Jewel stays out of it and, keeps the peace and everything like that. Because, Jewel was always, the young one of the group. And, he just was always loved by both of them. So, because I know Camron got love for Jewels, and I know, definitely Jim does, because, they both, still rock with Jewels at some point. I haven't really seen Jewels and Cam talking too much, but I know Cam got some love for him.
Do you think the boys from Harlem will ever get back together? You think they could beat Dipset again?
Do I think Jim and Camron will ever get back together? That's tough, bro. I'm not going to hold you. It's real tough. I'm not sure. The reason I say I'm not sure is that, jumping on the Justin LeBoy show, Jim Jones, we don't know what Camron is going to say Monday morning on his show, season 3 or 4, whatever it is. We don't know what him and Mase are going to do. So, it all depends on where all this goes. I hope they could be friends again, because I ain't one of these dudes. A lot of niggas is praying for these niggas' downfall, man. That's not SHEABABY, Pam. I keep telling you. I'm a fan of Dipset, Camron, Mase, all of them dudes, man. Even if like I had smoke with them and they, they didn't like me, they told me, Shay, stop, kick rocks, fuck me, forget pause, forget, we don't fuck with you, all of that, right? Even if they said that, right? I would be lying to myself and say that I did not feel Dipset, Mase, and Camron's music. Come on, son. You know what I mean? Come on, son. You know what I mean? Like, I definitely would be lying, fam. 100%. At one point, it was either, like G-Unit was so fire. It was one point, it was like, nah, I'm going to run with the set. I'm going to run with the set. You know what I mean? I'm going to put that set on in the car. I'm going to put the Rivals on. I'm going to run with the set. It was like that. Just because you felt like you had to be loyal to them because you knew what the vibes was. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I was with it. You know what I mean? It really wasn't, like I felt like I had to go against 50. I just felt like I came up a little bit more off of the set because I was able to touch the set. Because like I said, I'm early in the game. I'm going to Broadway in Harlem to go shopping. 125th, 145th. And these niggas is running it out there like they selling weight out there. Straight mixtapes. Niggas running up on you. You ain't got no choice but to cop that set. That's a fact.
Would you say Camron is the face of Dipset?
When it comes to Dipset, I would have to say Camron would be the face. Like a lot of people, and I agree with people, are saying that, when Camron left the game for a long time, who was holding down the set, Jim, when a lot of niggas think of Dipset, they do think of Jim Jones' face, especially the newer faces to the Harlem scene and newer faces to the set. They might think that because Jim Jones has been still active, got the song with the Migos out, like I said. He's a little bit more active for years. He's got records, he got groups. You got niggas like Dice Pesos out there right now. So yeah, man, I would have to say a lot of people probably do think Jim Jones is the face of the set. But, realistically, when you really think about it, the face of Dipset is Camron. Camron, 100%. The only reason why I say that is because he's the first with the deal, first to be seen on the scene, to be seen with Mase, the undeals. I'm thinking like, Jim Jones gathers up the troops and gets the Dipset movement going for Camron. But I'm looking at it like, how do you get anything going for somebody, right? Like, how do you get something going if you don't have something? You know what I'm saying? You got to have something to get something going. You know what I'm saying? They had something. Camron had talent. Camron, he just was put in a position where he was, running behind Mase. Then he signed the Undias. Both things fold. What are we going to do now here? Okay, we got to form our own thing. We can't quit here. You know what I'm saying? That's that. I'm not saying that's what they did or what they talked about in Apartment 5, like Jim said. You know what I'm saying? I don't know this what they said, but I know that they put this together as a unit. You know what I'm saying? They found Jewels. You know what I'm saying? They made Jim Jones the hype man. Made Jim Jones sort of like learn how to rap. Like I said before, if a guy, you teach somebody something and they go to the top at it, you don't get mad at them. You know what I mean? You gotta, this is what you taught them. If anything, you're Mr. Miyagi. If anything, they Daniel-san. You're Miyagi. Daniel-san. That's you. You're Miyagi. So I would never be mad. I look at myself like, yeah, I'm the teacher. You know what I mean? What they said in the raps, oh, come here, let me teach you. Remember that? All of that. Facts. That's what I'm on.
What do you think is going to happen to all of the people in Harlem after all of this? Do you think the Jim Jones, Camron situation could get crazy in Harlem?
Nah, Harlem is always going to be the same, man. Harlem will not change because of the Camron. Look at Camron. He was just another day. You seen him in the mink. His aunt or something died. Rest in peace to her. And, he's home. And, he's, nobody's, these guys are not going to do nothing to each other. Because if they do something to each other, this is like worse than Rich and Alpo. You do something to one of each other like this. You know what I mean? Because if Cam do something to Jim and Jim do something to Cam, both sides of Harlem are just not going to feel that, man. You know what I mean? This is not going to be one of those type of situations. I can tell you that. I don't know the dudes personally. You know what I mean? I'm in the circle. You know what I mean? Because, I just do the platform work. I'm also a sports commentator. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I've met both parties. And, there was never, dudes, always showed love. You know what I'm saying? Both dudes, because like I said, I'm a basketball dude. So when I meet these dudes, it's under sports circumstances. So their heart is real. Because now this is not no street stuff. This ain't no music business capping. This is for the kids. This is where you showing love to. And you see them extending their hands. This is why, I'm glad, a lot of people say, Shay, why haven't you interviewed Jadakiss? Why haven't you done business with Jadakiss and all of this, and all of this stuff like that? I said, listen, me and Jadakiss relationship is bigger than this business. Pause. I know Jadakiss outside of the business. That's why we're close. Pause. Because we're, the business and shit doesn't mesh all the time. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, I continue to be blessed by God and just keep doing my thing, is because I'm not breathing down the people I know back for interviews and spotlights and all of this. Nah, I'm just working, bro. I'm just working. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, I always say I hope this Jim Jones and this Camron thing, doesn't revolt to violence, and I hope it's good smoke and just letting all the answers out that all the people like myself and all of us want to know for years of why the separation. Why wasn't it Mase in Horse and Carriage? These are the things I want to know. Yeah, they're laughy, buddy. Laughy, all getting money together, doing a sportscast. But I still, as a fan, want to know, why was you in that video, Mase? I don't know. Maybe he said it on the show. I didn't hear that part yet, but I would love to know that. You know what I'm saying? Because when I saw Mase in the 357, I was like, oh, I'm so excited. These are my throws, the red and the blue leathers. Let me get one. North Face Himalaya, let me get that. Ava Rex, give it to me. All of that. You know, I had the money to do so. I can do that. You know what I mean? Those niggas painted the picture. I said this already. You know what I mean? So yes, I've always, like I said, my platform, I'm always going to protect the GOATs. You know, I put the, you know, once you go overboard and you do nasty work stuff and it looking like it's over for you, then I go in. Pause. You know, once it looks like your career is over, then I have to let the dogs out. But if it looks like you still have a shot, I protect you. You know what I mean? But if it looks like you finished, I let the dogs out. And that's a fact. You know what I'm saying? But definitely, man, the platform is always there to protect the GOATs. You know what I mean? I'm a GOAT myself. I want somebody to protect me. Gotta protect the GOATs. Facts.
What's next? I guess we waiting for Camron and Mase to come on the show Monday and see what they got to say. I think it's going to be a crazy week. What's next for these guys?
Oh, I don't know what's next for Jim Jones and Camron, but I hope it doesn't result into nasty work. You know, I hope it results into big business pause. And, you know, hope all of this get turned around. You know, Justin LaBoy, the interview with Justin LaBoy hit 1 million views. So, you know, a lot of people heard and saw what's going on. So, you know, we're not the only people that's blinded in the dark right now when it comes to this Camron and this Jim Jones smoke. Trust me, after Monday morning, it's going to be up. And you know what? I got an afternoon show talking about it. You see the hats. The merch will be out real soon. You know, I went the prototype people went and got me another color. I like them so much. Yeah, and I figure, you know, after Monday, we will cover everything on this. So, you know, keep your ear and your eyes onto the platform and onto YouTube and to all the other platforms that they're on also. And, you know, keep your ear to the streets and see what's going on. But I'm definitely going to be covering it just because, like I said, I'm a fan, you know what I mean, of these guys' work. That's a fact.
Hi, my man. I'll see you next week, man. I'm running out of battery. Had a good time with you again tonight. Now, listen, man. I want to maybe talk the next week about this Mason Cam thing and Jim Jones thing. I don't think this is going anywhere. Dang, Shay, I really appreciate you again, man. I'll send the money.
No, thank you, Mr. AI, man. You done it again, man.